Hi everyone, greetings from New York City. Welcome to the very first episode of Conversations on the Spiritual Path with John Dapani, and that's me. Conversations on the Spiritual Path is a weekly YouTube video series that I'm starting today. This is the very first episode. Been encouraged by my friends to start this for a long time, and I've delayed on it for so many reasons. And before we go on, I do want to take a moment and thank Alex Icon for never giving up on me and perpetually encouraging me to create this YouTube channel and this series. So thank you, Alex, and for those of you who are watching this video, do check out Alex Icon's YouTube channel. He's got some great stuff on there. Conversations on the Spiritual Path is a very raw, unscripted, informal conversation, a question and answer between all of you and me. I was inspired to do this because when I lived as a monk, one of the most precious times I had with my guru was actually all the informal conversations I had with him that took place in his office, that took place on a walk through the garden, in a car ride, in the aeroplane, in a restaurant, in a cafe. And it was those moments that we sat informally with each other, and I could ask him and prompt him questions about life that it's been bugging me or that I just wanted to know answers to, that I felt I could never ask anyone. And he created a great setting that was not fearful, that was really open and safe, where we could have this dialogue, and I truly appreciated that. And I honestly have to say he was the first person ever in my life that I've ever met that was so open to such a thing, and I learned so much through those informal conversations. And I realized that so many people don't have access to that, and I want this place to be that. This YouTube channel, I know it's public, not so private, but how I'd like this to work is for all of you to email me a question. You state your question, your name, the city and country you're from, and send it to me. And questions can surround topics that concern the spiritual path and just life in general. So for example, if you want to ask questions about God, the spiritual path, the meaning of life, the purpose of life, what is life about, what is death, life after death, do you believe in reincarnation or just one life, karma, how do you uplift yourself when you're feeling depressed, how do you overcome fear, stress, what is fear, how you're plagued by issues or unresolved emotions from the past that bother you today, people in your life that are negative, that are not uplifting. And if I have answers or insights, I'm more than happy to share with you. And if I don't know, I'll just honestly tell you I don't know. So that's how I'd like this channel to go. Every week on the same day, I'll put out a video. It will be about 3 to 5 minutes long, and I'll answer a few questions that come in from all of you. So to get this process rolling, what I've done is I've sent out an email to a few friends, and I've asked them to send me questions. So the very first question comes from 9-year-old Rohan in the Caribbean. And Rohan is the son of a friend of mine, and he asked 5 questions, and I asked him for a couple of questions, but I love his enthusiasm. His first questions were, how were the gods created? Rohan has been practicing Sikhism and also Hinduism, I believe. And Rohan, it really comes down to what religion you believe in. I'm a Hindu, and in Hinduism we believe there's only one God. And so Hinduism is monotheistic, not polytheistic, meaning there's only one God, not many gods. And we believe that God was never created, that God always has existed. So depending on the religion or the faith that a person is, he or she may answer differently to that question. Second question Rohan asked is, why was the universe created? Very good question, Rohan. I asked myself that as a kid as well, and I realized after many years of inquiring that nobody really has an answer to that, so I don't know, to be honest with you. I've never found an answer, and if you find one, please let me know. The third question that Rohan has is, what was the first thing to be created? Rohan, I have absolutely no idea. So, sorry, can't help you there as well. The next question Rohan has, why did God make anything in the first place when he doesn't need us? That's a really good question too, Rohan. I think you need to ask God that. I have absolutely no idea. So I think I've been pretty much useless to you except for the first question, but I really appreciate you sending the questions in. Next email that I've gotten is from Laura from St. Louis, and Laura asks, I've been exposed to many different types of meditation: walking meditation, candle gazing, vipassana, where you observe your thoughts, sensations, to name a few. And yet I feel the purpose and goal of meditation is not clear. I'd like to know from your perspective, 1, what is the purpose and goal of meditation? And 2, what method, practices do you recommend to get to that goal? Well, Laura, in my experience in being involved in meditation for so many years, I say almost 3 decades now, over 3 decades, very, very few people I've come across who really specify that you should have a goal for meditation. I believe, and I've been trained to have a goal every time you sit down to meditate. You should really have a goal. Like, for example, when you get in the car and put on your seatbelt and start the engine to drive somewhere, you have a destination, right? You just don't get in the car and start driving. So the same way, when you sit down to meditate, there should be a destination. There should be something that you're reaching for. What is that goal? What is that purpose? It's totally up to you. It really comes down to what you use meditation for. In the tradition that I come from, that I belong to, meditation is a tool that has many purposes, but the ultimate purpose in our tradition at least is to attain self-realization or enlightenment. Some people just use meditation for relaxation, to release stress, for all kinds of things. So you set your own goal for meditation, but the key point that I'm trying to make here is that every meditation should have a goal and a purpose. To answer your question, what method, practices do you recommend to get to that goal? This comes back to the first question. So once you've set your goal, the method and practice that you have should be systematic and practical. There should be a clear system on getting from A to B in your meditation. It should never be random. It should never be different every single day. The practice should be the same. Take a very simple, mundane example. So for example, if you go take a shower, before you take a shower, you take your clothes off, you turn the water on, you make sure it's the right temperature, you jump in the shower, you get wet, you put soap on, you wash the soap off, you wipe yourself dry, and then you put your fresh clothes on. You never mix that order up. You just don't do that. And you do that same order every single day. So the same way with meditation as well. You figure out the goal that you want to get to, you figure out a systematic step and process towards getting there, and you do that every day. Thank you very much for watching the first episode of Conversations on the Spiritual Path. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you have any comments, please leave it in the comment section down below. And feel free to share this video with your friends as well. And thank you for tuning in. Have a great day.